Morning, everyone. Welcome to the weekly meeting. My name is Zohar Morales, and I am an alumni of this program. I'm a realtor out here in Hawaii, so if you have any friends, fellow service members that are buying or selling on Oahu, feel free to send them my way, and I'll send you a referral fee for helping them. So today we're going to be talking about a topic that came up last week. So Carlos Quintana asked about what are some ways that you can get involved in your community that can benefit your business and just help you get established in the local market. And so that's what we're going to be touching on today. If you're in a safe situation, I ask that you would put your camera on so it can be a little bit of an interactive experience. If you have any questions as we're going through this presentation, feel free to unmute yourself, ask the question, or you can also use the reactions button at the bottom of the screen to raise your hand. And you can also drop your question in the chat box. Any random questions about the program before we get started? Alrighty. So let me drop the, or else do share screen. My slide. Mr. Adiba, can you see my slide? Yeah. Let's see, let me try it again. All right. You see it now?
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you. All right. So as far as getting involved in your community and figuring out ways that you can use this method or this aspect of your life for lead generation, I could make a list of like 50 or 100 different ways you can get involved in know but I'd prefer walking you through the process of how I've found community groups to get involved with so that you can know how to think and how to apply that thought process in your specific situation for your specific skills so that when an opportunity presents itself, you'll think, hey, this is a great opportunity that I can get involved with and become part of to get involved with my community, to have a tribe outside of the military, because when you leave the military, you kind of feel like you've detached from a lot of the community groups that you once were a part of on a daily basis for 3 to 20 years or more. And so there's a multi-layered benefit to being able to identify these community groups that you can be part of. So came up with 3 questions that you can ask yourself in order to arrive at what kind of community group that you can tap into that will eventually lead to lead generation for your real estate business, but also will just benefit your life in general. So these 3 questions are: what community-based activities am I good at? What community-based activities do I enjoy doing? And last question, how can I give my time to community-based activities? So first question, and this is what it looks like for me, and this is how I broke it down into these 4 categories: sports, artistic, hobbies, personality-wise. You're more than welcome to break it down however your brain works, but this is just kind of like the 4 categories that came to me to kind of group together a few different ways of these factors that can lead me to arriving at a community group. So as far as sports, because sports is something that I do enjoy doing and doing a variety of things. So I'm decent at wrestling, boxing, and hiking. And then for artistic endeavors, I enjoy doing graphic design, and I'm decent at it. Same thing with photo and video editing. And then for hobbies, pretty decent at cooking and also setting up community events. And then last thing, personality wise, I would say I'm relatively outgoing and I like to be servant roles in community group events and gatherings. So then that brings us to the next question. And as we go along, it's kind of narrowing down the different details so that we can kind of refine our vision on what we're looking for in a community group. And at the bottom of the slide, you can see here I put, if you're skilled at this activity, you're more likely to actually do it because you'll look forward to it. So if it's something you absolutely dread doing, so like in my case, if I had basketball in here, which I do not enjoy doing because I'm not good at it at all, because my hand-eye coordination is not very good. And so if I was like, hey, I'm gonna get involved, I'm gonna teach middle school basketball because that's a good way to meet parents. Parents want to buy and sell homes, and so I'm gonna do that, or I'm gonna go to the local basketball court and do pickup games. So if I do that and that on my calendar, it's like every Thursday I go play basketball. I'm going to dread doing that because it's just embarrassing for me to go out there and shoot a basketball and miss the hoop by like 5 feet. So you want to find something that you actually are decent at, that you'll look forward to doing, and so you'll actually want to do it. So the next question is, what do I enjoy doing? So of these things that I'm decent at, that I would probably look forward to doing, like what do I actually enjoy doing, and what's sustainable. Wrestling and boxing I enjoy doing, but it's a lot of wear and tear on your body. And at the end of a long week, I might not want to go get tossed around on a wrestling mat or get punched in the face doing boxing. However, hiking, I would look forward to doing that. Go get on the fresh air, get the blood flowing, enjoy nature, have some conversation with people as we're walking along a trail. And so that's why I have that in bold. And then from these artistic items, between photo video editing and graphic design, I would probably rather do graphic design because I can just kind of put on some kind of some kind of music without words. I forget the name of what I was trying to think of, but um, instrumentals. Just put on some instrumental music, maybe some classical or whatever, and just kind of zone out and just work on a project, making flyers for some kind of community event, or making some kind of logo design for a high school or for some kind of kids sports team, whatever the graphic design need might be. I can do that and look forward to doing it. Um, for hobbies, between cooking and coordinating community events, I'd probably prefer doing the coordinating of community events, because when I'm cooking, it's kind of like a one-man show, and it's kind of hard for me to delegate cooking tasks. And so I would rather do coordinating community events, because a lot of the tasks associated with that, like placing chairs or um, picking up supplies for the party, whatever, all those tasks are relatively simple and won't kind of frustrate me as I'm doing it. And so I prefer doing community events over cooking. And then personality wise, between being outgoing and serving in a servant role, I would rather do serving as a servant, because being outgoing, while I do enjoy doing it, it's can be kind of exhausting for me at times. And so if I'm in a servant role, just kind of behind the scenes, helping out with whatever the event is, and able to contribute in that way with and look forward to doing it rather than being in the spotlight, like being an MC for an event or something like that. Probably wouldn't look forward to doing that on a consistent basis. And so that moves on to our next question. How can I give my time to this? So we narrowed it down from all those items over here, from what am I good at, like what would I actually look forward to doing ever, and then what would I enjoy doing, so on a frequent basis, which of those items, which things would I do, and then narrowing it down even more, how can I give my time to these things. And so with hiking, one way to get involved with making that a regular activity is go on Facebook, join some of the local community groups for hiking, and volunteer to lead a hike, or see if other people are already setting up a hike and just tag along with them. And that's a great way to get plugged in, especially if you do it on a consistent basis, because you'll develop that relationship with people that are on those hikes. Um, and then graphic design. So find some kind of need for a group. So in my case, for the West Point Society of Hawaii, I do a lot of the flyers and advertising for events, the swag designs like stickers, patches, t-shirts, stuff like that. I do it all for free, and I enjoy doing it too. This little bubble that I put on the side, that's just abbreviation for how to win friends and influence people. And so the book by Dale Carnegie, you guys may have heard of it. If you haven't, I highly recommend reading it. It's a very mind changing book. And so the reason that I called out that book for this topic is because you might be thinking to yourself, okay, so doing a logo for a group, like what's in it for me? Like, am I supposed to tell everyone that I designed this flyer for this event so that everyone can know that I did it, and then tell them I'm a realtor and tell them to use me for buying and selling? And there's a part in that book where it talks about how Dale Carnegie, he would teach these conferences to people about how to win friends and influence people. And after one of the big conferences that he was speaking at, one of the guests came up to him from the audience and asked him, like, whatever you just talked about like smiling at people or um, complimenting people, like what I don't understand the value in that for me. Like, what's in it for me? And Dale basically tells him, like, if that's the way you think, if everything is like has a catch to it, then you're just not going to do very well in life. There's people that, don't get me wrong, there are people that think that way, and they do get ahead, but overall you're going to get to a point where you just kind of hit burnout because everything has a catch to it for you. But if you do things out of the kindness of your heart, just being generous, you'll be really blown away by the blessings that are poured out on you when you just freely give your time and care to helping people out. And then for coordinating community events, so I set up football watch parties for our alumni group and our like annual Founders Day celebration, where we have about 200 people attend each year. And so all these events, um, I help coordinate the details for them and contribute my own manual labor as well. And when I'm in these events, I'm not, wearing an EXP t-shirt or like broadcasting that I'm a realtor, but it naturally comes up in conversation, and people appreciate the work that I put into helping out with the events, and they appreciate the conversations that I have with them. And so naturally kind of leads to them knowing that I'm a realtor. And if they hear about anybody buying or selling, they send them to me. And then the last one, serving in a servant role. So kind of similar with the graphic design topic, you might be asking yourself, um, what's in it for me? So if I'm behind the scenes all the time, not in everybody's face, telling them I'm a realtor and I'm here to help and all that stuff, how are you going to get leads from that? And so what came to mind for me is Luke 16:10. It's the verse that basically says, if you're faithful with little, you can be trusted with much. But if you can be faithful with even a little, then why would you be trusted with a lot? And so when people see that with very simple tasks, you do a really good job, and you do it without expecting anything in return, they'll see that you're a good human being. You're somebody they want to interact with. You're somebody that they can trust with their financial assets, with their real estate, with their friends who might be looking to buy and sell. However, if you show up and you're like, "Hey, I'm a realtor. Does anybody want to buy and sell?" Yeah, by the way, I'm here to help out, but if you're not going to buy and sell, then I don't want to help you with whatever task you need help with. Like, if everything is like very with a catch, um, people just aren't going to want to associate with you. But if you're just being a helpful person, being a servant, people will see that and appreciate that and want to work with you for their real estate needs. And so what does this have to do with lead gen? So for my personal scenario of like how have I benefited from just contributing to our community groups? And so the largest volume to date from a single lead that my wife and I have received was from, so it's my wife Samantha. She teaches in the children's ministry at our church, Calvary Kaneohe, and the one church family member that we helped out, and it wasn't even like anything forceful or like really aggressive trying to like get their business. All we did was hand them our business card because we heard them say that they were going to be moving soon. And from that, we represented them, which they were the sellers in selling their $1.925 million home. And then we also represented the people that bought the home. And then we also represented the people that bought the home in selling their other home, because they had to sell that home in order to buy this one. And so all that adds up to 5.45 million, um, which it was 100% a blessing from God. So PTL means praise the Lord. And but just from being involved in our church community and them seeing week after week that we show up, we're not getting paid to do children's ministry. We're just doing it out of the kindness of our heart, out of obedience to God. And them seeing that and seeing that they seeing your character in action over a consistent period of time, they are able to um, recognize that you're the type of person that they want to work with on this important transaction. The second largest transaction before that was a $1.6 million home, and the that was actually two families that bought that house together, so two couples, and the one that I started off working out with on this, I took him on like hikes and stuff, and just I was a friend to him and not just on transactional basis with him. So it wasn't just like, hey, you want to go check out homes? Hey, have you done your pre-approval? Hey, what do you think about that house? You ready to make an offer? It was like, hey, how's it going? I'm going hiking tomorrow morning on the pillbox hike. You want to join me? Or hey, we have the farmers market coming up on Thursday. You want to join Samantha and I? And stuff like that. It's like being involved in your community might be just that one client, that one lead, and just developing that relationship with them and doing things together that you guys sharing like your passions so they can also enjoy those fun things and develop that connection rather than just being a salesman to that person. And then the last one, which before that $1.6 million deal, this $1.325 million deal was from my dentist, and again, just another blessing. But um, being open to having that conversation about real estate, but not being forceful. And so the went to have some work done on my teeth. The dentist asked me if I was going to be around on the island long enough to have the work done after getting out, and I just kind of plainly told her, "Hey, stay in here, get into real estate." And it was kind of just jokingly asked her. I was like, "Yeah, I'm staying here for good. Going to be a realtor. You want to buy a house?" And she's like, "Oh, actually, I do. Been waiting for base housing for a long time now, and yeah, I'm actually considering buying." And then fast forward 3 or 4 months after that, they bought a $1.325 million house. And she's also connected me with other friends of hers to buy properties out here in Hawaii too. And so that comes from having a relationship, a friendship with your clients, and not just seeing them as dollar signs as your next paycheck, stuff like that. And that's all I've got for today. Any questions about anything I said? Any input? Any ways that you guys have applied this in getting involved in your community? Sweet. I'll stick around for a few more minutes. If you have any other questions, feel free to stick around if you want to ask them one on one or with a smaller group. Otherwise, hope you guys have a wonderful week. Aloha.